Bill Cosby said he would not take the stand, sticking to his word. Cosby arrived this morning to his trial for aggravated indecent assault with his wife, Camille, by his side. This is the first time we've seen a member of the Cosby family there in court. Mr. Cosby has pleaded not guilty. The defense called just a single witness who was on the stand for a handful of minutes before the defense then rested its case, and both sides now making their closing arguments. HLN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney Joey Jackson and attorney Carolyn Polisi join us now live on the story. This surprised a number of us. We were talking about this segment early this morning and mapping it out, and then all of a sudden the alert came, defense rest. Joey, you're my defense attorney here. Were you surprised?
No surprise at all. You know, look, the fact is that the defense, remember, has no burden of proof. And so they could come to that courtroom every day, Erica, and they could sleep in that courtroom, right, Carolyn? They don't have to question witnesses. They could put their feet up there. So the point is that the prosecution always maintains the burden to present their case and to prove their case. And what this demonstrates is that the defense is banking on that thing that defense attorneys love. It's called reasonable doubt. And what I would suggest is that's what they're hammering and hammering away in the summation, saying, ladies and gentlemen, you are not to believe this case. The fact is that they have not established that this was based on no consent. Consent's the word of the day. If the jury determines that it was consensual, then they don't even have to go that far. They just have to say that we just don't know. There's a lot of doubt here, and therefore the tie goes to Bill Cosby, and that's what they're banking on. So I get that, but I have to say, when you're sitting in the jury box, does it have some sort of an impact where you say, yes, the burden of proof is on the prosecution, but the defense got up here and didn't really do anything?
You're absolutely right, Erica. I think everybody was kind of shocked at the kind of pitiful nature of the defense's case in this instance. I think there really were two nails in the coffin to the defense's case here. First, the unsealing of that 2005 deposition testimony in which Bill Cosby gave in the civil suit that Ms. Constand brought, never thinking in a million years that this case would be a criminal case. He said a lot of incredibly damaging things there. Of course, he admitted to obtaining pills for the purpose of giving to women that he intended on having sexual relationships with, albeit consensual sexual relationships with, right, Joey? However, it's incredibly damaging. The second piece of that puzzle, the second very damaging thing here, nail in the coffin, is the testimony of Kelly Johnson, the former William Morris Talent Agency employee who gave incredibly tearful testimony. It was very gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching. That type of evidence, which we call prior bad acts evidence, as defense attorneys, you fight tooth and nail to keep it out of the courtroom. Incredibly damaging, because the jury can feel along with that woman sort of her pain and what she went through, and it's incredibly prejudicial.
May I fight with my friend Carolyn here for a moment?
Please do.
Thank
Bring
you.
me some fireworks, Joey.
She brings great points as usual, but let me just say this. First of all, you know, you always look for symmetry in a trial, to the point that you raise. Well, it looks strange. The defense didn't say anything. They will be instructed that as the jury, ladies and gentlemen, there's no inference to be drawn from that. Defense has no burden. He doesn't have to testify. You are to make no inference because he didn't testify. So the jury is instructed that although you might want to see it, you can't factor it in. Now to the fight with you.
Okay.
The bottom line is that in terms of the deposition, this case is not about Miss Johnson. This case is about Miss Constand. Let's be clear about that. She was brought in to demonstrate a pattern. Did she show that? Now the defense will say she didn't show it. What about your memory? When did this occur, Miss Johnson? Was it 1990? Was it 1996? Did he really do these things to you? When you had an opportunity to testify under oath, did you mention anything about this in your workers' compensation claim, or was your dispute with the company? So, to be clear, Kelly Johnson has nothing to do. She's a pattern witness. Andrea Constant is different. And by the way, going to Miss Andrea Constant, okay?
Please.
You could poke holes in her testimony. The fact of the matter is that there's blatant inconsistencies, and you're contacting and getting in touch with this guy who apparently did this to you, and the detective that the defense had in their case reminded the jury that there was this travel that they engaged in together in another state. He's the guy that raped you? Really?
Say what you will, Joey Jackson. However, I have to say Ms. Constand held up extremely well under cross-examination by Angela Grusa. She was amazing. The prosecution saw this coming a mile away, and they put on an expert in this case to testify just how victims of sexual assault somehow behave not how you typically would think that they
I
would.
want to interrupt this moment for Carolyn Polisi, Joey Jackson. Thank you both, though, for being here. Really quickly, any comments on Camille Cosby being in court only today?
Major decision, very good decision. Shows she's supporting him and knows that he is not guilty.
Very good PR move. Very
Big
good.
impact on the jury?
Absolutely.
We agree on something.
Absolutely.
Look at that. We're ending on a happy note, you two. Thank you both.
Thank you.